Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Nigel and today we're going to be going over the items that sold in September of 2025. Alright, so let's just jump right in. So the first item that sold, and this is in no particular order, and this is just some of the items that sold, not all of them. So the first item that sold is this Liz Lisa Glen check plaid succapan or sucapan, I'm not sure how to say it. Skirt, short, size 0, ribbon, bow, lace, Japan, Kwai. And this sold for a best offer of $48. I picked this up at the Salvation Army and I paid about $4 for it. Alright, so the next item that sold is this Chico's Travelers size 2 blue abstract print v-neck top, sleeveless, artsy. And I put stretch because it was like a stretchy kind of slinky material, which I probably should have put that in as well as a keyword. I picked this up at the I think it was like the Haven Attic thrift store, and I paid $1.99 for it, and it sold for the full asking price of $22, and it took about a month to sell. The next item that sold is not something that I would pick up again, but because it was in a lot of toys, I just decided to go ahead and list it. Um, and it sold for the full asking price of $9.50, and it did take about 9 months to sell. It took a while to sell for sure. So I would not intentionally pick this up again. And I paid, I think, like a quarter for the bag of toys and stuff that it came with. So either way, I still make my money back. Was also in a toy lot that I bought. I forget the name of the dolls. Descendants, actually. I think it was in a lot of Descendants dolls, and I thought this was one of them. I've never actually watched the show. My apologies for maybe some people that do watch it. I think my daughter, she has watched it before. But so this was actually from the zombie show. This is Zed, and he sold for a best offer of $9, and he did take a few months to sell. So not too long. The Descendants dolls definitely pretty much sold right away when I listed them, but he did take a little while to sell. But he sold for $9. Would probably not pick him up again. This is Susan Graver pants, women's size medium. It was brown, straight, slinky material. And I did put keywords in here like travel, office, and career, casual. I picked these up at the Haven Attic thrift store and I paid $1.99 for them. And they did take a couple of months to sell, but they did sell for $16. Item that sold, I also picked up at the Haven Attic thrift store, is this vintage, I'm not even going to try to pronounce all that, Spanish lady hand painted pottery figure. I paid $2 for her, and she took a long time to sell. She took about almost probably a year to sell, if not that, and she sold for $20. So I probably would not pick this up again, or if I did find something like this similar, I would definitely research it and look into the comps. That sold is this Milano de Rouge tracksuit, black zip-up jacket. This actually came with a pair of pants, but of course I did not find that, or I didn't even think to look to see if there were any pants. I picked this up at the Salvation Army thrift store, and I paid a couple of dollars for it. It did appear to have some type of discoloration because it looks kind of gray and a little bit of like light staining and stuff. I did disclose that in the description. But it sold in a couple of months for $45. And I think this is a good brand to look out for as well. The item that sold is this Wet Seal gray pink lined zip up hoodie jacket, women's size small, long sleeve casual Y2K. I picked this up at the bin, so I probably paid a few bucks for it. It didn't really have much going for it. It was pretty plain looking, but because it was Wet Seal, and I felt that is something that is kind of sought out after. I don't know if people are still looking for Wet Seal, but I know it does have like some type of following, or did. So I found wet seal before at the bins a couple of times. So yeah, I would definitely look out for it. It didn't sell for a whole lot, but it did sell very quickly in like a couple of weeks. And somebody sent me, or either I sent them, I can't remember which one, a $13 offer, and it sold for that. So not very much, but I know there's some wet seal out there that can go for some decent money. So if I find it and it's cheap, I will pick it up. Are these four molas? I'm not sure how to say that. Placemats, and it was also one pillow cover, like for a couch, like a throw pillow. I did put handmade and textile art, cats, geometric. These are just really cool. They came all together at the Haven Attic thrift store, and I think I don't quite remember what I paid for, but I know it was under $5. I want to say it was like $2 I paid for all of these, and they sold for $25, and they sold within a couple of months, or actually not even a couple of months. I think they sold in like a month or less than 2 months of me listing them. So I would definitely look out for things like this if you can find them fairly cheap. This Toll frosted stainless steel fork. It was only just one fork. I didn't have any other um, silverware to go with it. And this one fork sold for $28. It did take a little while to sell. I noticed that things like these, can, like silverware, typically sells better during like the holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas. Out there can sell for pretty good money, so I would definitely look into silverware when you can get it pretty cheap. Um, is Victoria's Secret mesh hip hugger panties, medium burgundy, pink, blue, and it has like a little talk bubble on it. These were new without tag, and I sold these for $18.55 to a repeat buyer. So you definitely can sell undergarments regardless of what you have been told or hear, but they have to be either new at tag, new with or without tag, or they can be vintage because then they're just sold like it's a collectible. I got from the bins is this Gans Webkin Strawberry Cloud Pink Leopard plush stuffed animal toy, no code. Um, I used to, I just recently started looking back into Webkins because I always thought that if they have like the signature mark under their feet, under their feet or their paws, that they're worth looking into. But that is absolutely not true. Yes, the signature ones are definitely what you want to look into, but even the ones that don't have that, if they have a code, I would probably just go ahead and look into them and probably pick them up if you can get them really cheap because like this guy right here, I believe people were selling him, or I didn't really look too much into the comps, but actually I think the comps are pretty good too. But people were trying to sell him for like around $100. So definitely keep your eyes open for Webkins, especially if they have their code with them. And I got him from the bin, so I paid like not even probably $1 for him, and he sold for $15. This skirts I got from the Haven Attic thrift store as well, and it sold for $14. And I bought this for I think $2, so probably would not maybe pick this up again. It did have a little bit of condition issues too, a little bit of light staining on it. I don't even know why I included it in here, but I did get these also from the Haven Attic thrift store. And it's just like some coasters, but the person just wanted one of them because they were missing that one from their collection. And they just offered me $7. Normally, I don't break lots up like this, but I just figured why not? And I actually forgot to list the other one. Next item is my Bolo item. Um, I got this from the Humane Society thrift store. I paid a quarter for it. And when I saw him, I recognized him right away because my daughter was, when she was much younger, she was super obsessed with this show some years back. I think it was like during COVID, like 2019 or so. And I could not stand this show, but it was so annoying and she was obsessed with it, and the characters I guess just got embedded into my head. So when I saw him, I recognized him right away, and I did not think that he would be worth as much as this. I actually could not find any for sale at all. If you wanted to buy this plush, you would literally have to go outside the country. I think you have to like go to Australia or something like that. Because it's just you can't buy him here in the US. And he does have like some other side characters that are worth a lot of money as well, but he is worth the most money because he's more rare. However, he did not have his sound box, so but even regardless of that, I put a high price on him and he sold it within a couple of weeks of me listing him. So you definitely want to look out for this character here from the YouTube show Little Baby Bum, and this character, his name was Incy Wincy. But even if you find like any of the other characters with this tag right here, is definitely worth looking into. And I think it was sold by Commonwealth. So yeah, definitely look out for this plush. Is this Selfie Leslie Marlena strapless dress, size small. I put coquette and Y2K. I don't know why I actually put Y2K. I don't really know if it falls under that aesthetic, but yeah, so I got this. It was new with tags for $2. It was in this $1.99 bin at the Haven Attic thrift store. I feel like a lot of my items, for some apparent reason, came from that thrift store. But yeah, so it was new at tags, and it did take like 2 months to sell or so, and it did sell for $52. So I will look out for this brand here. Selfie Leslie. The next item is this Jellycat Bashful Beige Bunny Rabbit, 12 inches. I also put Lovey with it as a keyword. Um, this one sold within a couple of days of me listing it, like probably even like the next day. Normally, I know that Jellycat is a bolo and that some of them can sell for pretty good money, but the majority of them that I find do not sell for a whole lot of money. He did have some wear too on him, but the majority of the ones I find, they don't really sell for a lot. I actually have some that have been sitting for a while, especially like the Bashful Monkey. I noticed I cannot get that one to move, and I also have like a larger Jellycat elephant. So I would definitely say look up the Jellycats before you get them, and don't just get super excited when you find them. I think the only one I found that I made the most money from was like a pine cone one. I can't quite remember how much he sold for, maybe $30, $40 or so. And I know there are some out there that sell for a lot, but I do get excited when I do find them. So, it's hard not to get them. But he sold for $15, and I paid a quarter for it. Item is a pillowcase, a vintage pillowcase from the West Coast Choppers, 2005. I could not actually find anything like this online for sale. I found a couple of things, or maybe one other thing that was very close that was vintage, but could not find the same exact item at all, no matter how much I searched for. So I put a high price of $50 on it, and it sold for, I don't think I wrote it down for some weird reason. I think it might have sold for like $20 or $25 though. Um, but oh yeah, $20 is what it sold for. And this item I actually got from the bins in Orlando. Actually, my daughter picked this one up. So just literally cents into it, and it sold within 2 months of me listing it. Next item is this Webkinz Emperor Dragon plush stuffed animal toy with unused sealed code. Um, I sold him for $40. I got him from the bins. And yeah, so like the bin that came out when I was there, it had nothing but like Webkins in it. So I definitely checked the comps on all of them. And if they were like less than $10, I just decided to leave them. So definitely picked him up. He was more of one of the rare ones. So you definitely want to be on the lookout for this Webkins plush, especially if it has an unused code. He sold for the full asking price of $40, if I didn't say that already. This item is this vintage baby Bigosh by Oshkosh Bigosh floral corduroy overalls, 24 months, blue pink roses. I actually got this from the Haven Attic thrift store, and it was on a teddy bear. I found it in the plush area on a stuffed rabbit, and I just bought the stuffed animal just because of that. The plush was nothing significant, so I literally just got it because of these vintage overalls. They did have like some paint on them on the pants legs that I could not get off. It was somewhere on there. It was on the back here. But even with that, I listed them for $38, always with best offer on, and they sold, I think the same day, like the same day that I listed them or the next day, for $30. An offer was sent to me for $30, so yeah, just went ahead and accepted it, and I paid a quarter for the stuffed animal. So you can't beat that. This items is from I said bundled order. Um, so it is a vintage Lily of France purple satin bra. I actually had bought a bag of bras, a bag of vintage bras for like, I think it was $2, and it had like 30 bras probably in it. So yeah, and they were all like the same size. Actually, I still have some left, and I've sold quite a bit. Vintage Christian Dior bra sold for a best offer of $21.25. Got these pants in a bag sale where it was like fill a grocery bag for $3, so it was jam packed with a lot of stuff. It was like a church sale. And these are just a pair of LEI Juniors leggings. I feel like they might have been slightly vintage or something, but they were in immaculate condition, and they sold for a best offer of $10. This item I had for like a year, and I'm so excited that I finally sold it and got rid of it. This is when I first started going to the bin, so and really started dabbling in clothing, which I'm still learning more about because I really started out in toys first. So this is a Quinto della Val wool cashmere blend shawl. It actually did not have a material tag on it, but when you touched it, you can just tell if you've sold wool and cashmere before. You could definitely tell the difference between that and like acrylic. So this was like a cashmere wool blend scarf, and it sold for $40. Honestly, I probably would have took like 20 at that point. If you give a mouse a cookie, plush stuffed animal. I got this from the Goodwill thrift store. I know that some Goodwill thrift stores, they always have like something where it's like, I don't know, like 5 or 10 plush for like $1 or so. So I think it was like a part of that. And this sold for the full price of $25. Also had for quite a bit of time, for probably like a year or going up on that. This was a vintage express, like kind of zip up blouse. I thought it was really cute. I don't know why it took, so long to sell. I'm guessing I probably didn't have like the best picture and keywords, but it did sell for an offer of $15. And I believe I got this in a bag sale as well. So, but if I didn't, I know I didn't pay no more than $2 for it. Thanks. I got this from the animal. Why do I keep calling it the animal thrift store? It's not the right name for it. This I got from the Humane Society thrift store, and I get like a discount there because they give out like so many different discounts for like if you're maybe a student or stuff like that. So I think I paid like $4 for it, and it sold for $20. And it sold within a month of me having it listed. I don't know if I can say onesie or bodysuit. It came from the bins. It did have a few stains on it, but once I oxy cleaned it, it got, cleaned up really nicely. And this sold for $15. Also got from a church sale that was having that bag sale I was telling you about, where it was like fill a bag for $3. And these were a pair of vintage Route 66 shorts. I did put keywords like Y2K and Granola Girl in there, and I think that really helped sell it. Otherwise, it didn't really have a whole lot going for it, but they were in like immaculate condition. They had no flaws whatsoever. So that's why I did want to go ahead and get them, and they did sell for $10. Vintage zinc women's trench coat dress. It was also in fantastic condition. So that's why I went ahead and got it. I did think about keeping it for myself, but I have so many clothes. So I did go ahead and list it, and it sold for $22.39, and it took less than a month to sell. Berkey puppy dog plush stuffed animal toy sitting. Um, Definitely one of my older listings. I believe I had this for like over a year. Probably would not pick this up again unless I got like a lot of plush, but not intentionally would I pick this up again. It did take a while to sell, but it did sell for $12. Disney Store Classic Pooh and Piglet embroidered pink satin baby blanket. I got this from the Haven Attic thrift store. And when I say I got this from the Haven Attic thrift store, it's not like the same one. It's like different location ones, but I typically do go to like the same ones over and over again that are close in my area, or sometimes out of town. So I originally listed this for $99. I did buy it for, I think I paid $2 or $1.50 for it, but it had several stains on it that was just like on there for such a long time that I just knew would probably not come out even if I OxyCleaned it or stain treated it, and I just didn't want to go through that. So I had best offer on, and somebody reached out to me saying that they had the same blanket when they were younger. Typically, I don't usually go for stories like that, but because of the condition issues, I just, let it go for a best offer of $55. And I know I could have got more for it, but I only paid a couple of bucks into it, and it did have some condition issues, and I felt like it went to a good home. So definitely want to look out for this blanket because some people were even selling it for like closer to $200. So this is definitely a bolo as well. This item is this vintage Sarah Steffen blouse, size large, green, gold chain print. This is also another example of an item that I got from the bins when I first started going. I'm not sure if I would pick this up again, but it was also like cropped, like the person who had it like cropped. Um, but it was vintage, and somebody sent me an offer of $14.50, and it took about 9 months to sell. The next item is this vintage Italian silver plated decor plate. I got this also from the Haven Attic thrift store, and I paid 75 cents for it. It is silver plated, and it sold for $25. I don't really know if I would pick something up like this again. I mean, it was small and easy to list and ship, but it did take a while to sell. So I don't know if I would pick this up again, but it sold for 25 bucks. The last item that we have is this rare vintage 1 Anna coin pendant with monkey holding a balance scale or Libra sign. This I actually bought in a jewelry lot um, on Poshmark from this one lady who sells jewelry all the time. And so I probably paid a couple of bucks for it, but it did sell for a best offer of $30, and it took a couple of months to sell. Well, that is all that I have for you. If you enjoyed watching this, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. That would be wonderful and awesome. And let me know what was your favorite item that I found, and let me know a fun item or a very cool, interesting item that you found as well that you would love to share. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.